Hey everyone, it's a long overdue return to Assetto Corsa Competizione on Low Fuel Motorsport for me today, the platform that gave me some of my best ever races a few years ago. Now I was racing a lot more regularly back then and I was far faster than I am now, but can I still find a competitive pace in ACC in 2026? Well, it's going to be a tough one today at Watkins Glen because I've been placed in the top split. I've only got a 1.2k rating, way below the 2 and 3k ratings which dominate the grid. But I guess I'm getting lumped into the highest strength of field due to my decent safety rating. Sadly, it means I'm very unlikely to keep up here. But as you'll have noticed by now, it's raining. Maybe, just maybe, the conditions will be the leveler I need. Now I'm car 21, starting from P14 on a grid of 23. Dare I dream of a top 10? Well, here we go then. The lights are green and we are underway in the most difficult of conditions here at Watkins Glen. It is absolutely chucking it down. I'm starting from P14 alongside Boris Bastek on the 7th row of the grid. Bastek's going to have the inside line into T1, so I hang it out a bit wider, but it's incredibly slippery on that curb. I almost lose control, so I do decide just to lift and give Bastek the position. As we climb up through the S's for the first time, it's a little bit like taking a giant leap into the unknown here. What little track time I did have practicing for this race took place in dry conditions. So I certainly don't want to push my luck too soon in this one. I just want to feel my way into it. Just for a moment there, I thought that Porsche of Dave Wilkinson behind was going to go alongside me into the inner loop. Meanwhile, in front, we have lost Boris Bastek. Bastek sliding out of P13. And in case we needed a reminder of just how treacherous these conditions are at Watkins Glen, we got it there. Bastek losing the rear midway through the inner loop and careering into the barrier. So yeah, that has gained me a position from where I started. I'm up into P13. A little bit of a gap is opening up to the pack of cars in front, but I'm not too worried about that at this stage. This first lap is all about survival. Speaking of survival, it's something that Boris Bastek didn't manage going through the inner loop. Look how slippery it is in there, and look at the end result. A big hit for Bastek into the tyre wall. Right, let's get back to the live action then. We're approaching the end of the first lap and I've closed right back in on this pack of cars in front. Still running in P13, but I'm right on the tail of Marco Polo in P12 and then just in front of him, Tim Bursticker. And there's a mistake from Burkester running wide through T10, so the two drivers in front of me side by side. This might be an opportunity. If I can get the corner levelled off early and get on the gas, I may make a double pass here. And it looks like Dave Wilkinson in the Porsche wants a piece of this as well. I open the gap. Wilkinson jumped through it as well. We might be 3 wide into turn 1. It's going to get really tight. Bursticker just about holding on to P11, but I'm going to have another go at him here. I'm going to try and force my way up the inside into the S's. Well, so much for taking it easy. The blood is starting to pump now. Big crash in the rearview mirror. It looks like we've lost everyone. Yeah, I don't think anyone emerged from that wreck unscathed. Look at the leaderboard. The gap is just flying open now. 3.5 seconds, 4 seconds back to Bursticker. Let's go back and check out the replay to see exactly what happened. This is the charge down the start-finish straight. I'm in the middle here. The bright blue Porsche of Dave Wilkinson on the inside. Bursticker on the outside. We just about managed to get through T1. It's so close though. Right, here's where I make my move up the inside of Bursticker, and I've put myself in the only safe position because watch that blue Porsche. Wilkinson running into the back of Tim Bursticker, and then all hell breaks loose. Somehow it looks like all cars managed to end up facing in the right direction, but they have all lost a load of time. And it's put me in a fairly lonely P11. We're now on lap 3. I'm 5 seconds behind Rainer Ramsteiner in P10, and I'm 5 seconds clear of Bruno Marquez behind me. Yellow flags are out though. We have lost Ramsteiner. He's rejoining on the inside of the hairpin there, so I just move out to leave him a car's width to get back on track, but that does put me into the top 10. Well, it does feel like the rain has stopped now at Watkins Glen, but the track is still incredibly slippery, as demonstrated by Rainer Ramsteiner here, just throwing it into the hairpin a little bit too hot, and the rear steps out. Right, back to the live action then, approaching the end of lap 4, and there's just 0.8 of a second separating me in P10 and Ramsteiner in P11. I know he's quicker than me, so I know he's closing in, and that is not going to help, grazing the barrier on the exit of the final turn. So let's switch on the TV cam. We can keep one eye on Ramsteiner's on board. His qualifying time was half a second faster than mine, so I'm expecting him to be very close very soon. And we've got the added distraction of a back marker. It's actually Tim Bursticker who's come back out from the pits after getting repairs for that wipeout a couple of laps ago. Now hopefully I'll be able to get past Bursticker fairly smoothly here. Whether Ramsteiner will get past him just as easily remains to be seen. The blue flags are out. It does look like Bursticker is pulling over, so we're both going to breeze by on the approach to the inner loop. What's the gap back to Ramsteiner now? Yeah, 0.7 of a second, so it is still incredibly close. We're not even at half race distance yet, so I think this is going to be a really tall order to try and hold on to this top 10 position. I'll give it my best shot, but a combination of a lack of pace and tricky weather conditions may make this impossible. Right, jumping forward a lap. We're starting lap 6 now. Ramsteiner was a couple of tenths quicker last time around, and as a result, he has closed that gap to just 0.3 of a second. He got a much better run through turn 1 as well, so he's going to gain even more time coming up through the S's. 0.1 of a second. It looks like he's within striking distance now. All I can do is defend and take the inside line, but we've just hit half race distance. It is going to be a really tough ask to defend for 10 whole minutes. But we're going to be side by side into the inner loop. No, I've just managed to get my elbows out there and hold on to the position. Ramsteiner thought better of it. So yeah, I made my Lamborghini as big as I possibly could approaching that chicane, and it's worked for now, but I suspect Ramsteiner is going to come back for more. I'm a little bit wide on exit there, just taking a bit of grass. That is the last thing I need in these slippery conditions. The result, I've completely missed the apex into this left-hander. This might give Ramsteiner the opportunity he's been looking for. I think I'm just far enough ahead that I don't need to defend into this hairpin. I get to the apex first, but I'm really loose again. Look, wider on exit. That is going to cost me some speed down this back straight. It's just 0.1 of a second now. He's going to have a look up the inside, is he? Well, if he does, I'm not too worried about giving him the space, because if I can hold it around the outside here, I'm going to have the inside line for both turns 9 and 10. That's exactly how it's playing out. We're side by side approaching turn 9. I'm on the inside, so there's no way through for Ramsteiner here. I can close the corner off and hold on to the position. So yeah, defending well for now, but this is going to feel like an incredibly long 9 or so minutes if I'm going to be under this sort of pressure. Can I hold on? Can I heat this top 10 position? Well, it looks like I'm going to be under a double attack very soon. Not only Ramsteiner, but Bruno Marquez as well. Marquez in the Lamborghini is close to within 0.6 of a second of me now. So the three of us separated by less than 1 second as we hit turn 1 at the start of this 7th lap. Oh, I'm really wide again over that slippery curb on the outside. I've got no choice but to lift to keep control of the car, and that gives Ramsteiner the opportunity that he's been waiting for. He breezes by up into P10. Nothing I can do about that one, but now I've got to concentrate on Bruno Marquez in my rear view mirror. Marquez moves to the left, so once again I'm going to defend into the inner loop. It worked a lap ago. Can it work again? The elbows are out. I'm making the Lambo as big as it can possibly be, and yes, we've held on to P11, but yeah, Marquez is going to be coming back for more, no doubt about that. Alright, let's jump forward to later in the lap, because I'm starting to feel the pressure now. Into turn 8, I've just run in a bit too hot, run out onto the curb on the outside. It's a complete mess of a corner. It has opened up the opportunity for Marquez to come alongside, but much like on the previous lap, I'm going to have the inside line into turn 9, so I will be able to hold on to the position. But look how much pressure Marquez is putting me under now. And of course, the more I concentrate on Marquez behind, the more opportunity Ramsteiner is going to have to make a break for it. He's nearly 1 second clear now in P10, but we need to switch the TV cam back on, because at the moment there is only one driver I need to be concentrating on, and that is Bruno Marquez in the Lamborghini behind me. So we're just starting lap 8 now. 3/4 race distance is fast approaching. The clock slowly but surely ticking down, but can I hold off Marquez for another 6 minutes? Well, he was a bit loose through turn 1 there. That will have given me a little bit of breathing room up through the S's, and it may mean I'm just far enough ahead to stop Marquez making a move as we approach the inner loop. And you know what? I don't think I am far enough ahead. Marquez is closing in fast. Yeah, there we go. He's moved to the outside. So once again, we're going to be side by side into this chicane. Once again, I've got to hold on. For the 3rd time, I'm under pressure coming through this inner loop. And for the 3rd time, I've managed to hold on to the position. But Marquez is not taking no for an answer here. Look how close he is as we come around the outer loop. He's within 0.1 of a second now. So I'm going to have to maintain this defensive line. Come into this left-hander a little bit tighter. I'm completely out of shape though. I've left a gaping hole up the inside. And I'm absolutely destroying these wet tyres. They are getting hotter and hotter the more and more ragged I get on this drying track surface. But for now, I'm maintaining the defensive line, holding the inside through that hairpin, clinging on to P11. But surely now it is only a matter of time before Marquez makes a move for it. He's brought Steve Day along with him now also in the Ferrari. Meanwhile in front, there's a big mistake for Ramsteiner. He was well wide going through turn 8, so that might allow us to close in a little bit on the P10 driver. But look in the rearview mirror. Marquez is able to hold a far tighter line than me through that T9, and he is knocking on the door now. How long could I hold on to this P11? Well, to be honest, if it wasn't for the rain, I wouldn't be anywhere near the top 10. So I've got to remember not to feel too disappointed if Marquez and Steve Day do get past me in these final 5 minutes. I'm half expecting Marquez to have a sniff up the inside into T1. There we go. He's having a look. I'm going to try and hold my nerve. I might have just braked a little bit too late. I got a big slide on mid-corner there. That sends me out over the curb again. This is not good. This is surely going to give Marquez the opportunity he needs to take that P11. Sure enough, he breezes past through the S's. So yeah, I'm really starting to drop off through the final third of this race. As the track gets a bit drier, the pace is starting to pick up, and I am struggling. Well, as we jump forward to later in the lap, all I can really do is just try and keep myself within striking distance, just in case this battle for P10 between Ramsteiner and Marquez ends in tears. Currently, I'm 0.9 of a second off Marquez. I need to keep within 1 second of them here, so let's switch the TV cam on so we can keep a close eye on this battle for P10 over the final couple of laps. And it does actually look like Marquez is a little bit quicker than Ramsteiner, so if he does start to put Ramsteiner under pressure here, the two of them are going to slow each other down. There may be an opportunity, albeit a small one, for me to get back into this fight for the top 10. And ideally, I'd like to keep a similar gap back to the drivers behind me. Gerhard Gombosch has got past Steve Day now up into P13. The pair of them just 1 second behind. Look at this battle for P10 though. Marquez is trying to go around the outside into the inner loop. He's out onto the grass. Marquez just about manages to hold on to it. But yeah, now I am right back in with this top 10 fight. All of a sudden, this race has transformed. A couple of corners ago, I was talking about there being a 1 second gap both in front and behind me. But now it is far, far less than that. Just 0.2 of a second to Marquez in P11. Just 0.2 of a second back to Gombosch in P13. How close can it get over these final 1.5 laps? And Gombosch was having a serious look up my inside into turn 6 there as I struggled with grip. Thankfully, I'm holding on to the position for now, and I am a bit quicker out of the hairpin, so I do gain a couple of tenths back on Gombosch. Look in front, though. They're side by side again as Marquez having a sniff up the inside into turn 8, but he's going to back off. He's going to tuck back in behind Ramsteiner, but yeah, he is sizing up a move here. Marquez wants the top 10. So do I. I don't know if these drivers have cooked their tyres as much as I have. If they have done, they are managing it far better than I am, because I am really struggling now. Pretty much every corner I'm missing the apex. I'm sliding in, losing grip. Somehow I'm managing to keep it facing in the right direction. But yeah, this is not easy. We're going to have one more lap to go. And as we cross the line to start this 11th and final lap, it is Rainer Ramsteiner in P10, Bruno Marquez P11, me in P12, Steve Day back up into P13. He's got past Gerhard Gombosch. So yeah, that skirmish behind has done me a favour actually, because they've slowed each other down. The gap back to Day now is opened up to 1 second again. So a bit of breathing room in my rearview mirror. I can concentrate on trying to keep up with this battle for P10. But at the moment, it looks like Ramsteiner may be making a break for it. There's a second between Ramsteiner in 10th and Marquez in 11th now. Come on, Bruno. You can do it. Close back in. This is my only chance of getting inside the top 10. I certainly don't have the outright pace to do it on my own. I need these two drivers in front of me to start taking swings at each other. We've got half a lap left for it to happen. It's not looking likely at the moment. There is still a 1 second gap between Ramsteiner and Marquez. And actually, as we hit turn 6, it does look a bit closer than 1 second now. Yeah, Marquez is beginning to close in. 0.6 of a second now. So is Marquez picking up ahead of steam here? Yeah, he's right on the tail of that Porsche. So what is going to happen over this final half a lap? Will Marquez make a move for it? Will I be able to get closer? At the moment, I'm 1.1 seconds off the Lamborghini of Marquez. Well, we've only got 4 corners left now for Marquez to make a move. Make that 3 because he wasn't close enough going into T8. And he's not close enough going into T9 either, so this will be all about the final corner, I think. Marquez losing the rear on exit. Marquez makes a big mistake. Is that an opportunity for me? I'm just not close enough to capitalise. Oh, now there's a mistake from Ramsteiner. Ramsteiner loses the rear through T10, and this time I am close enough to capitalise. Marquez dives through, I dive through, and at the very last corner we both gain a position as the checkered flag comes out. Marquez takes P10 and I grab P11. What a dramatic finish here at Watkins Glen. And yeah, I'd only just seen Bruno Marquez lose it coming out of P10 there. I wasn't quite close enough to take advantage, but when the rear steps out for Ramsteiner, neither I or Marquez needed a second invitation. So here are the classified results then, and as expected I didn't have nearly as much pace as the rest of the drivers in the top 15. My fastest lap in the race, a 1:53.2. Pretty much every other driver in the 1:52s or quicker. Crucially though, I knew my limits in the wet weather, I didn't push too hard, and I've got a really respectable finish. 0 incident points, so for the first time on Low Fuel Motorsport I have a safety rating of 9.99. So plenty of reasons to be cheerful then, not least because you can still get great racing in Assetto Corsa Competizione on Low Fuel Motorsport in 2026. I will certainly be back for more. Thank you ever so much for watching.